The RRP on this is about £85,000, so yes, it is a lot of money, but it does this. So yes guys, we are in the Audi RS4 competition. These are all sold out unfortunately, so you can't buy one. You might be able to get one on the second-hand market, but you have to obviously, if you do want one, you've got to go for just a normal RS4. But there are rumours on the grapevine there is a limited edition RS4 coming out very, very soon, so keep an eye on that, eye out for that. But in the meantime, we have got this competition RS4, and what is different, I hear you ask? Well, it's still got 450 horsepower, it's still got the 2.9 litre twin turbo V6 engine in it, and what a glorious engine it is, may I add. And it has still got the same torque figure, but what they have done is they've fettled the suspension. It's got an adjustable coilover suspension set to 20mm lower than normal standard RS4s, and it's got some different geometry things, some different tyres, and some sound deadening removed from the actual car as well, so it should sound a little bit more throaty, a little bit more naughty, and I'm told it's way more dynamic. And with that saying about dynamic, let's put it in dynamic mode, which is, as we all know, Audi's spicy sports ultra mode. Brake pedal is actually a little longer than I normally like, but I wouldn't say it's a hindrance, because if anything it allows you to kind of not have that weird super stiff ultra sharp, overly sharp brake pedal. So you can kind of almost, once you get a bit of travel and you put your foot on it, you can get a little bit of a nicer modular feel underfoot. So there's that, and that feels nice. Steering, weight and suspension is very nicely weighted. Not too heavy. Most Audis are relatively light, but thankfully this isn't too light. As we hit this hairpin turn, let's clip the apex, see what kind of grip we've got. Absolutely amazing. Not much roll from the suspension whatsoever, and the suspension feels very accomplished, but nice and comfortable even in dynamic, I have to say. And I tell you what, it's easy to go fast in this blooming thing. Lovely around that banked midsection, and I'll tell you what, it covers ground so fast. Throttle response and gear changer, let's have a little go at that. Yeah, it seems to react really quick to a gear change on the paddle. You can obviously use the manual modes where you slide it across and use the manual box. You'll hear it screaming a little bit. It's because I've invoked it into a manual mode on the pedals, because I want to, because I want to enjoy it a little bit more. I want it to kind of give me what I want it to give me, not what the computer software is thinking. Dynamically, chassis wise, let's have a look actually as we go over the brow. Oh yes, brilliant, absolutely brilliant. Yeah, brilliant. I tell you what, now I said this, if you've watched back as far as my old RS4 video, you'll hear that I say it's a really accomplished car. I love it, and I've heard other people saying about it being much like an RS3, a very complete, very rounded, awesome, best, amazing family car out there. And I don't disagree. I just wish it was, I always wished it was a little bit more dynamic, because it feels almost too safe. I'm going to give it a little launch quickly on here. Yeah, V6 supercharged motor, feels incredible, sounds awesome. But yeah, I always said that the RS4 did or does sometimes feel, or can feel, a little bit too safe. Now, a lot of all-wheel drive platform cars are obviously akin to this really. They can be very, very safe. They obviously plant their grip down, they look after you, they're very neutral in the way that the diffs are locking up. Well, the outgoing one, RS4, was exactly like that. It had a good, not too bad a bias out of the factory. I believe it being something like, I think it was 60-40 or 45-55, so it's quite still neutral biased. But this one is a little bit more rear biased, so they put a little bit more power and locking into the rear diff, or front diff should I say, at the right time, to then make the rear diff open up and put more power into. So it means that the car is more rear biased. It puts more power into those rear wheels, which means that it kind of can then tend to feel more like a rear wheel drive platform car, which tends to then make it a little bit more dynamic. It means that the car will play around a little bit more. It will rotate the rear wheels a little bit and turn from the front end nicely, whereas a lot of old trait all-wheel drive cars, much like my RS3, they're very neutral, and what you then end up starting to get is you start to get this understeer from the front, and you get a bit of front wash away understeer, which is, you know, not very fun in all fairness. But Audi on this competition have done stuff to the differential to make it definitely quite a bit more naughty and to rotate the rear a lot more. And absolutely, guys, I'm telling you now, they've done it to perfection. Get some little pops and cracks. Don't know whether you can hear that on camera, but this chassis is now with this suspension, you can just, it's just good. It is so much better than the outgoing normal standard RS4. Obviously, like I said, you can't buy these, but there's a limited edition one coming out now. I don't know what it's going to have on it, but it may be similar to this. But I tell you what, this car, jeez. And the brakes, yeah, when you get them warm, they are amazing. And this chassis, it's the speed, the frequency in which the rebound comes back into the chassis of the car's body, the rebound rate, which feels so fast. And rebound rate is that rate of speed of where, yeah, basically the suspension reacts and sets itself back up, and it just feels absolutely fettled to perfection. And yeah, the suspension changes have made a massive improvement to this already great car, but it's now made it an absolutely outstanding car. And I'll tell you what, there is not much to not like in this. Obviously the practicality of this one is even better than ever before, being an Avant. You've got a really big boot in the back there. I'll put on the screen now the size, and huge rear occupancy spaces, huge rear headroom for your passengers, lovely seating, nice figure hugging mild kind of buckets on these, but they're really nice. It's got all the mod cons like heated this, heated that, really high spec, and again I'll put all of the links in the bio to the full spec of this exact car. If you are in the market for one, guys, honestly, wow, it's one of those cars that's very complete. Whereas the RS6 is probably a lot heavier and less dynamic than something like this, it's also almost got too much power sometimes for the road. This has genuinely got what I would say is a perfect amount, 450 PS, really usable, good power. Let's do a little launch. Ready, 1, 2, 3. When it kicks in, wow. When that kicks in, all that power, and it gives you all the power, and the turbo spooled up. Wow. What a machine. What a machine. And I tell you what I love about this car is you just do not feel any of the weight. Now don't get me wrong, this is not a it's not a particularly heavy car at all, but it's not a light car either. All-wheel drive platform, and you know, probably easy 1800 kilograms of weight plus. And I'll put the links in the bio to the actual and links on the screen now as to the weight. But it hides everything so well, and the interior in here as well is like all Audi Quattro cars and high-end RS cars are sublime. They're second to none. They're up there with the best, and it makes these cars worth every penny. But yeah, dynamically, because this car is not as heavy as, say, the RS6, it makes this probably, in my opinion, the rounded car to have if you want a dynamic car. If you want a cruiser that still is fairly decently dynamic, the RS6 is incredible, and obviously you can't beat that sound. It's hard to beat. And this V9, this 2.9 V6 is very different to that motor, that beautiful motor that's in the RS6, but as a rounded package, this feels more nimble on its feet. It feels more track focused, more B-road bashing focused, and it is such a fast car. It is. Sounds really good though, to be fair. I say I don't want to down talk it over the RS6 because it sounds amazing, and the grip levels hitting these apexes are absolutely, try not to sound like Gary Barlow, absolutely fantastic. What a machine. The grip this car has got, and the chassis refinement, and how you get that through communication through your bum and your fingertips. Honestly, Audi, well done. This is the dynamic RS sports wagon that you can daily, that you've, and anyone who likes dynamic cars have been wanting. Wow, what an absolute weapon of a car. What a machine. What a machine. Brilliant car. Honestly guys, if you're in the market for one of these and it's on your radar and you can get one, go out, get one, order one, or wait for this limited edition one to come out and see what spec it is. I suspect they're going to be really similar spec to these competition ones, but they're going to be limited edition, so they're going to be even better, even more potentially rare. Get yourself on the order books, I'm telling you now guys, because whatever Audi are going to make next, I think, on this RS4 platform, they're going to learn from this one, and they're going to know that anyone who's been driving these have been saying, wow, what a car. And this, or that limited edition, is going to be the one to get. And obviously, yes, one thing I haven't mentioned is the price. Obviously, RS6s now are way north of £100,000. So as you'd expect, this is quite a pricey car, but for what you get, I still think it's a really good car. Considering you know, hot hatches now are circa even £50,000-55,000 for something like a Civic Type R. You've got to understand vehicles are a lot more money, and for this kind of equipment and performance, almost supercar-like performance in a car like this, you've got to imagine and expect the price to be quite something. Well, it is. The RRP on this is about £85,000, so yes, it is a lot of money, but it does this. What a machine. Like I say, expensive car, but when you look at it in the bigger picture, you get so much car for your money. So I understand where and why it is a fun dynamic car. You can just dial in exactly where you want it with a little seesaw on this steering wheel, and it is a sublime bit of kit. Wow, well done Audi RS. You bods and guys there have done an absolute stellar job on this. Wow, what a car. So I have to say, this is a massive thumbs up from me, and I absolutely adore this car. And I'm going to end it there. Guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. As always, like, share, comment and subscribe. We'll see you again on the next one. Bye for now.